Hello, everybody. We are live here on Ladies' Night, and my theme music is not playing. Dang it.
Oh, no.
So much for 4G LTE, huh? Oh, come on. Anyway, so welcome to Ladies' Night. We've got Linda from E. Kenny and Linda, our esteemed other female bartender. We've got yours truly, Riddle Girl, also the other Green Dragon bartender. And who you just saw there momentarily, that is El Tenda Fabrizio's wife, Katie.
Hi, sorry.
Come back.
Sorry.
That's the. If you want to mute the microphone for a second, is here. If you want to mute the camera, is here. That's it.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Thanks. I'll scream if I break something.
No donkey porn. But
Hey.
Ah, that's the way. The guy's night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Guy's out of here.
Yeah. No more Fabrizio, dang
it. Yeah. Hi, Katie. I'm Linda.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. So I'm me. I'm having my post-working beverage. Ugh.
It looks green.
It's green. I do green juice, so I've got the strength to crane kick Nancy Pelosi in the face when I get a chance.
Yeah.
We juice marijuana, the leaf. and it's excellent. It's awesome. You don't get high, but it does great for your body. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. That's good. Anyway, so much for that.
Yes. All right.
So tonight, what we want to be talking about is women's roles in the SHTF. At some point, you are going to have to take care of yourself. So are you prepared to do that? Are you prepared to defend yourself physically? Are you prepared to find food and water, to improvise tools such as, for fire or cooking or fishing? And we'd like to talk about all that stuff. I just recently did a video on how to make a candle out of a tampon, hand sanitizer, and lip balm.
I missed that one completely. I need to see that.
I do too.
So, there's a lot of things that women can do to be prepared. We're already natural preppers. We carry a ton of crap in our purses all the time. Okay. The average woman carries so much stuff in her purse she probably doesn't even know all the other things that it can be used for. Chapstick can be used to lengthen the time of your tinder. So if you're trying to start a fire and all you have is chapstick with you, you can make that tinder burn longer until you can put more wood on it. Yeah. If you're having trouble getting your spark to stick, you can spray a little spray hand sanitizer on it to get it to do that. You can use your little mini dental floss you keep in your purse as fishing line. And those women who wear the French hook earrings, you can use those as a hook complete with lure. They already have their own lure on it. Little danglies.
I got a perfect one here too. It's got feathers and all, so it would look great.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's what I always wear. I'm too lazy to put the ones with the backings on. I'm always, I'll just put the hooks on.
See, you've always got your own. You've got your own little mini fishing kit right there with you all the time.
I didn't even thought of that. I don't know
that. And most women are always wearing their earrings. I know I am. So I think that's very good advice too. I carry sage. I'm a Native American, and I have sage with me, dried sage. And if I ever needed to keep a fire going, I could use it.
Or eat it, because it's tasty.
Exactly. Now you were going to talk about water and food too.
Depending on where you're at, if you're in a remote area, obviously looking for food is going to be different than if you're in an urban environment. And I'm sure Linda could probably tell you more about looking for food in a remote area, and I could probably tell you more about looking for food in an urban environment.
Everything in our yard is edible, even the weeds. We pretty much know what every plant is in our yard. And also we would follow the animals, not dogs, mind you, because they'll eat, anything like cat crap or, But if you around us, we have a lot of wildlife. I would, if it was necessary, I would follow and see what the animals were eating, and then I would eat that. But I'm in a place where there's an abundance of food, so food's not going to be an issue if I stay here. Not at all.
That's where you got lucky. We don't have any land. I sold off our land and sold out to the man to come back north to. We were living in central Illinois for a little while. We just came back up to the greater Chicagoland area, which was kind of a culture shock. Yeah, he wasn't happy about that. He was mad. We were growing corn at our house down there. The neighbors all thought we were nuts. That we had corn sticking up over the top of the fence, and then what the hell? I heard when the neighbors like, what are they doing over there? They be hippies and shit, with corn growing and all that. But so we're back up here. We're in an apartment now, and it's a temporary arrangement. But we were out the other day down by the lake. We found black mulberry and white mulberry trees. We were pulling them down. I brought a Tupperware bowl out there. We're picking it. We're going around. I'm like, those are apples and those are choke cherries. I've got the whole thing scoped out. We're walking back with our big bowl of mulberries. I'm like, man, if this shit ever hits the fan, we're gonna be like the warlords of this whole entire. Like standing there, like anybody who wants food talks to us first. So, there's ducks, there's rabbits, there's squirrels, there's all kinds of crap. I'm actually sitting there. Well, you don't want to eat a raccoon; they're disgusting.
And totally bacteria ridden.
Yeah, you can wear them, but yeah, you don't want to eat them. So we're reasonably versed. So it's like, all right, well, we wouldn't be too bad here if we had a forage or scrounge or whatever. We'd be okay. It wouldn't be as easy if we were out in the sticks still, but we'd be okay.
Now, I was in Seattle last week, and I realized in Seattle that if you were there, you're stuck if shit hits the fan. There's almost no way out unless you had a boat to get to an island. And we were looking around at what could you eat. I mean, well, besides the fish, they have the fish market that would Fukushima radiation. There wasn't much there. There really wasn't. It was concrete. There was no water, no anything. So in that kind of situation, I don't know what exactly I would do, except try to get the hell out.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, we live in a desert environment, and so a lot of people are like, oh, well, you guys would be screwed. There's no food there. Well, you know what? There's a lot of edible cacti. Yeah. There's a lot of edible reptiles, and even though they're a little dangerous, if you can kill them, you can eat them.
Isn't there a lot of
There's a ton of cats in my neighborhood, too, so stray ones. And, and if you get into that kind of situation, you can't be picky about what you're going to eat, especially if you're in an urban environment. There's only so many canned goods to go around. There's only so much trash that you can go through. At some point, you're going to have to start taking whatever's available. Yeah. But luckily for us here, there's a lot of orange groves and stuff, so, we could go through the orange groves. We could, eat a lot of the stuff that grows on the palm trees and the cactuses. The Native Americans in this area, they make all kinds of things out of cactus. They sell it at the grocery store. See? Yeah.
Give some of that peyote too, and then no, just kidding.
Peyote.
Yeah, you eat enough of that. You don't want to eat any food anyway. Yeah. Man, I'm still not hungry.
Enjoy your vision there.
Yeah, right. Where are you guys at exactly?
I'm in Mesa, Arizona.
Oh, no kidding. I spent a lot of time. I owned a condo in Mesa for about 24 hours. I never even spent it. It's a very long story what happened there. It's a really stupid story, but yeah, I owned a condo in Mesa for exactly 24 hours. Didn't even sleep in the place. Didn't even use the toilet, and then sold it the next. It's a long story. It was when all the real estate was going really crazy, and they would just, people were just going nuts. It was when that whole thing was going on. It was really crazy. But I was bound and determined I was going to live in Mesa, and it didn't happen. So
yeah. That's funny.
I love it out there, though. It's a nice town. I don't care what anybody says. It's beautiful out there.
Well, there's some mountains and stuff out there in the desert, right? In there?
Oh yeah, up north, yeah.
Right there, right?
Yeah, if you just head like about an hour north, you start getting into some mountains and everything.
And go to them natives. They know what's the rooted plants you can eat and stuff. So, I mean, that's what if I was in a shit hit the fan situation, actually, that's because I don't know. That's the first place I'd go, because they do know the things to eat, and also the medicines.
That's assuming that that they would be friendly and take you in. I know that some people tend to group up and stuff in those situations, and they tend to not trust people from outside of their group. So, if you're by yourself and you come upon a group of people, you can't necessarily trust that they're going to let you in.
Get to know the natives. That's what I would do, is get to know the natives. Even though I'm not from a nation that's up here, 8 miles away is a reservation, and I know that, well, Kenny just went there because he likes hanging out with the Indians. So I got him introduced, and so we're welcome there anytime.
That's good. Mr. Tommy Boy 9 is asking if there's nuclear fallout and all that outside food is contaminated, then what are you going to do? Well, you're pretty much screwed like everybody else unless you've got some food stores. And even then, those might be contaminated, depending on how you've kept them.
Well, that's the problem, is that the metal and all that. I got into glass canning about a year ago or so. The problem is it still has the metal lids. That's the thing, is that where you keep it. We're above ground. We're up here on the second floor. If you get in a thing where you got a good concrete basement and get everything locked down, depending on where the wind's blowing and all that. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. There's some kind of protocol for decontaminating water where you use iodine. I don't remember exactly how that works. I don't know. Yeah,
actually, I learned that, and when I was in Girl Scouts, it's kind of funny. They told us that in our emergency packs, we should always carry a bottle of iodine because it had multiple purposes, not only for cleansing wounds, but it also helps with leg cramps, and it helps with that's obviously something that your body needs in order to be healthy. And you can also use it to clean your water if it were contaminated with low levels of radiation. High levels of radiation is not going to save you. Nothing's going to save you from that if you've got high levels.
No. You're going to be
we take iodine every day. We take Luke oils, and then we have the regular iodine, and I put it on my skin every night before we go to bed, like a square patch, like about that big, and it absorbs. Mine comes out yellow still, so I need no iodine in my system. But if it doesn't come back with that yellow tinge, it means your body really needs iodine. So you could just do that, and the bottle of iodine's dirt cheap. So.
So I'd like to do a shout out to the room. We've got quite a few comments and everything, so I'm going to start out at the bottom. We got DJ Moore and Flint Napper. We've got Jay Watterson, 69, Mr. Tommy Boy 9, Mike Nieswinder, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Chad Lilly, Mrs. NWI Prepper, Poison Stinger, Jennifer Young, Chad Lilly, Optimus Android, Joel Sweatman, Old Bag, Calmer Sue. Hey, and we've got a lot of great comments too. Oh, and the 10-round Patriots in.
Yay.
Oh, a 10-round Patriot wants to know what tribe you're from, Linda.
I'm Seagla, Cherokee. If that answered that. I'm original Cherokee, not a wannabe. Because you hear everybody says, I'm a Cherokee, I've got Cherokee in me. I am a Cherokee, so.
And Poison Stinger's over here singing, Cherokee people.
Kitty sings that too. I got Kenny though, kind of going. Kenny's like this. I'm not gonna say it on air. He was a big badass, okay, and then he's hung around me for a while. And the other day I saw him smudging and stuff, and it was like, wow, that's cool. And he said, it actually helps, Linda. He said, it really does help. So I thought, that's totally cool. I'm rubbing off. So,
well, apparently we're doing good. We got some thumbs down.
of course we did.
Jerks. Whatever.
I guess Michelle is ready to come on. I'm going to send her a link real quick, so bear with me, folks. Linda, start talking.
Okay. Well, as we were talking about the iodine, if your body is, and with the Fukushima radiation going all around the world right now, I don't know if that radioactive iodine is still in the air, but that messes with your thyroid. Everybody should just get regular iodine and put a patch on your skin at night before you go to bed on the soft part of your body. And if you wake up the next morning and it's not there, that means that your body does need some iodine. And it's, it's like $1.39, $2 for a bottle of iodine. Keep doing it until it comes back and it's still yellow in the morning. You told me to talk. Katie, you have anything to say?
Yeah, no, that's good. Good suggestion. Good suggestion. That's the one thing that kind of gets overlooked, I guess, in the preps, and that's I got that. What's his name? Joel Skousen's book. I don't know if you have what's
place. I got it. The places you need to relocate to.
I got that one, and then from that I found something else, and it was what was that book? Oh God, you know what? I wish the one that Mihalik sent us, and it was the one about the
Medicinal.
No, the one about probability and all that. It was like it was basically like a doomsday scenario book, and it was like, okay, event of nuclear fallout, EMP, natural disaster, economic collapse, civil unrest. It just basically outlined like the whole scenarios, and the way I'm gonna beat my head in with a hammer trying to remember what the hell the name of the book is. It's fantastic though, but each one's a chapter, and it goes through, okay, list, this could kind of happen because of this, and here's what could possibly go wrong. It wasn't, like the guy's writing a story. It wasn't really like here's a list, and you need to do exactly this, this, and this. But I was reading it, I thought, oh my God, that's stuff I never thought of. I thought, okay, yeah, radioactive fallout. I thought, okay, and it's going down here's what happens to your body, here's what happens to your food, here's what happens to your water. And, I guess we're pretty good over here, because everybody I know says, well, if anything ever happens, we're coming to your house. And I said, don't, you're going to get shot. So, nice try. We'll wave at you, maybe we'll throw you a bag of rice, but don't get too close, we'll kill you. But,
right.
yeah, it's like, sorry everybody, that's this place is small, there's not enough room for everybody. But that really got me thinking about a lot of scenarios I hadn't considered, and the same thing, especially like an EMP, if there's a power out. Now we're in a thing, I don't have a yard where I can go out and start a fire if I want to, a lot of things I had to kind of rethink. But that was I'm gonna think of it like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and be like, shit, I remember what that book was called. But it just kind of got me to rethink about a lot of things that I'd overlooked. And almost always, I hear from people, we start talking about stuff, and then it was like, oh God, I've never thought about what, medicines in a prep kit, or, bug in would obviously be ideal, bug out, I'm not going to drag, a whole wheelie cart with me full of drugs or anything, but it's like, hey, that's it. I hadn't thought about stuff like, anti-diarrheals. I was just, in the frickin' hospital the other day. I got an ulcer, and now I'm all screwed up, and I can't eat anything. It's like, man, what would happen if I had to go run off into the woods and I'm eating fried squirrels and pine needles? It's going to
You'd probably be healthier.
Well, yeah, to tell you the truth, yeah, I probably, I've been drinking this friggin' pond scum. That's probably half my problem. I don't need enough onion rings. I need a nice coating of grease on me or something. But that's always something that I find we overlook. I'm always, okay, food and water, and then it's like, hey, what about medicine? What about, hydrogen peroxide is a great thing for treating nausea. You can use it on animals. You can, your dog gets sick, you can treat your dog with it. So we're trying to go run off. We've kind of been snacking a little bit, but we try to get to the dollar store and, grab, 3 bottles of iodine, 3 bottles of peroxide, The big problem that we're having now is keeping up with these things when they expire. You know, we got 80 cans of soup here that are going to expire in a month. I said, well, we're eating soup for every meal from now until August 3.
Just a minute, I want to say welcome to Michelle. This is Kansas Hillbilly Prepper's wife.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Welcome. Might want to mute the YouTube video so that we're not hearing it.
A little bit, but we try to get to the dollar store and grab.
Is that me doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do I turn off mine?
You need to find the window that has the YouTube player in it, not your Google Plus, but the YouTube player, and just hit pause or something on it.
Okay, just a second. Byron did this.
Also, well, you were talking about peroxide. Also, good things to have is some like baking soda and.
It's yours is playing.
No, mine's not playing. I'm not even signed on. That's you.
Oh, okay.
That's you.
How do I turn off mine?
There we go. They muted themselves. We're good.
Baking soda and saltwater baths help actually get some of the radiation out of you. That's what they did in Japan after they were bombed. So that helped with, what happened with them. So, just salt and baking soda. Soak in
Also,
baths
Epsom
like that.
salts. Epsom salts, it has the magnesium in it that your body needs to help replenish.
Yep. So
down. I need to make a list somewhere. What I started doing a while back, and I've been kind of slacking on it, but I would randomly think of something. I'd think of something stupid, and I mean not stupid, but just something just out of nowhere. And I keep one of those big binders with the plastic leaves in it, and I'll actually print stuff out and stick it in there because I'm like, I would bookmark all these pages, and they said, yeah, okay, tell me what happens when the power goes out. I was like, oh, so
That's a very good point. How many people are so dependent on these things, And once the battery wears out, you can't recharge that thing to access your information. There's not going to be any internet. So, one book that everybody should have is a book about what the edible plants are, medicinal plants are in the area in which they live. We don't have one, but, we do need to get one.
Yeah.
I don't have a cell phone, so Kenny does. I don't even know how to answer his cell phone, so I'm illiterate, and I'm glad I am. I learn more out in nature than I do by a cell phone.
I do. Those things are awful. It's like a leash.
Texting still perplexes me.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Bye, Jennifer Young. I guess she's leaving. And Chad Lilly suggests that every night should be ladies' night, or every Wednesday night should be ladies' night.
Wow.
Well, you must be doing a good job, huh?
Perfect endorsement. Thank you very much.
Yay.
I was scared of bombing out in here. I was worried.
Oh, no, we got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Michelle, you got any helpful prepping tips for the SHTF? I know you're pretty clever over there. You probably thought of a few things.
Let's see, I coupon and buy on sale, and right now I'm gardening, and my zucchini's growing wild, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's everybody needs to have a replenishable supply of food, and so assuming that everything is not radiated, having a garden's a good way to be prepared.
Well, right now I'm doing an experiment with my rain barrel because I have a rain barrel, and I noticed that some mosquito larvae has got in there, so I put some goldfish in there to control the mosquito larvae because I use that water to water my garden.
Mm-hmm.
So if that goes well, then I'm going to put the capella or whatever that fish is called.
Tilapia?
Yeah, that's the word. And so then you see how that does.
That's an excellent idea.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of duckweed in there to feed the fish, and then turn the fish will give an added fertilizer for the water for the garden.
That's pretty clever. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought of that. I would have thought, usually if you've got something smaller, or you're scared to grow fish in there, pennies or a piece of copper wire in there, because when the copper soaks in water, it puts off a copper leachate, and that'll kill the larva. It's the same reason why an IUD is made out of copper, because it kills larva, eggs, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't know that.
And slugs, and if you put it around your garden, copper, it'll kill slugs and stuff that are getting in. So, because it puts off that little electric charge. So.
For retail saying the pennies are even made of copper anymore. I don't think they even are. I don't know if anything's made of anything anymore.
I think it was zinc or something, and with a little copper coating.
Mrs. NWI Prepper, I just sent you a link in your YouTube email because I didn't know any other way to do it.
And I think Julianne's still trying to figure this out to come on. I'm going to type to her real quick. Okay, it's quiet here, so there's other things, like we know we can use iodine to purify water, and if it's really just gross pond scum water, I suggest everybody get some kind of filter, even if it's a little one. And also, for self-defense, I have pepper spray in my purse at all times, like Riddle Girl was saying. We have all kind of things in our purses. I have a knife myself. I have a nice flashlight, and I have pepper spray. If I'm not, have no access to anything else, I can get my pepper spray out. And I can also spray that around if I need to sleep someplace and I'm in a place where there may be wild animals. You can spray that around and keep deer and other things, or not deer, but bears. Like where I live, there's black bears. Keep them away.
Really?
Yes.
Good to know. Good to know. Because that's one thing I got going for me out here, is there's no bears.
The black bears are so nice here. I really hate. I think all you'd have to do is say boo and they'd run.
I got to turn this one off.
I want to say welcome to Mrs. NWI Prepper. Thanks for joining us.
I've heard in a pinch, if you have wasp spray, that makes good pepper spray.
Say hello.
Oh, hi guys.
Hi.
You're really talking about some really interesting stuff here. I like the thing with the iodine.
Oh yeah. Well, if you've got any tips for us, you're more than welcome to go ahead and share too. Everybody's got different take on everything,
Oh, I'm like Altenda's wife. I got a lot of stuff in there that's going to expire if I don't start using it. Because every time I go to the store, I'm buying soup and all that stuff, and I got to watch my expiration dates. I eat the freeze-dried food, my husband said.
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. What I have a homeopathic doctor, and this is what she told me about certain medicines. They put expiration dates on them just so you'll have to get more medication. And she is a prepper, and so she's got antibiotics and stuff that is from like 2002, and she keeps them in a cool, dark place. I'm not going to say that. And she said the same goes with your canned goods. She has canned goods that some people would throw away. She says it's the same way with the food industry. As long as it's kept in a cool, dry place, they're probably safe, and the can isn't indented or anything, and you could open it up and literally smell it if it was probably bad. So, and I have discussions with her all the time, and I get to go see her tomorrow, so it should be a good, they put me down for an hour appointment because we talk about my back for 5 minutes, and then we discuss prepping and other things for 55 minutes. So.
Okay, thanks
So
a lot.
I want to know more about medications. Like, who knows more about how long you can keep medications around? Antibiotics, diabetic medications, stuff like that, past their expiration dates. I know they will last, but they degrade.
Not necessarily degrade. She said if you keep them in a cool, dry place, and dark in the sunlight is what helps them deteriorate.
Humidity.
Yeah, I'm taking metformin that are a few years past their expiration date, and they still work.
Yeah, so just as long as you can keep them in like a big colored dark bottle or something really sealed, they're good to go probably for a long, long time. Actually, I read an article where some antibiotics and some medications that have been expired, you know, the pharmacy has to send them back. I wish I could find this article. It was like 4 years ago. Sends it back to the pharmaceutical company, and they just put a new expiration date on it and send it right back out.
What?
Yes,
Those
I did.
Bastards! Those bastards!
So, there you have that.
The Patriot Nurse has an article on drug expirations too. She's got a video on it.
Yeah, that's a good channel. That's a really good channel. That's the one. Have you seen that one, Breezy? Patriot Nurse?
Yeah, it's
Do you
the
watch
wife
that one?
or one
Yeah. That's
she
was the one who was talking about the antibiotics for fish tanks, the ones that you get.
Recycling.
Yes. That's I've taken that before, and I thought, well, son of a bitch, you know, I could go to Petco and buy that thing for $8, and and you could sit on it forever. So.
Just be sure to have probiotics if you're taking antibiotics. That's just almost a must. Everybody should get probiotics, and they're not expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I know that there's some people who will also like go to veterinary places, like for horse medications and whatnot, and stock that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially in a rural community, we could probably just go down to the local vet and get whatever we needed.
Yeah, see, you guys are lucky. Up here, my God, when you go to buy cough syrup, you have to show an ID and you have to sign a book. And I'm like, listen, I'm not making methamphetamines in my house with a bottle of Dimetap. I promise you that. It's absurd up here. I'm like,
if there's any aquarium stores in your local area, they usually have the antibiotics of all sorts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing we have is.
I know a friend of mine, and she's on YouTube, and a lot of people know her. I call her Carrie. What's her other name? But she sent me some mullein. Does anybody know what that is? It's damn near a cure for everything, and I made it in a tea. And I had a cold. It was gone. It helps with pain. It has an opiate, like an opiate property, but it's not an opiate. And so I'm going to get lots of that when it comes, fresh, when I can find it, or ask her to get me some because it was superb. And I'm out because some of my friends came over and needed some help, and they started using my herbal remedies instead of what the doctor gave them. So.
What about for antibiotics for people who are allergic to the penicillins and amoxicillins like myself? I can't even touch the stuff.
I've got a lot of Cipro. And I actually go to the doctor and ask them, like tomorrow I'll probably get some more antibiotics and just say, I think I've got a sinus infection and I need antibiotics. And if you've got a good rapport with your doctor, they should do that for you. I mean, like I said, I got a prepper doctor, so she has no problem. But I don't usually take the antibiotics. I use the colloidal silver and stuff first before I do anything else.
Yep.
And antibiotics is my last resort, my very last resort.
Mm-hmm. I hate taking those things. They blow out your guts. You usually feel worse afterwards. I'll take them like. If it's like threat of death, if I'm getting cut open and they're like, take these afterwards, I'm like, yes, okay, other than that, they're like, oh, I got a cold, here, take some of that. No, get out of here. I hate those damn things, and everybody's so resistant to them now because it's in everything. They're giving it to you eat a steak, you're eating all kinds of bovine antibiotics and the chicken and the pork and all that. It's in the water. I mean, that stuff's everywhere. It's it's breeding all these superbugs and that's it. I mean, people are just running and begging for that stuff every time they have the sniffles. It's like, man, you got to challenge your immune system a little bit. You got to go and, hug on somebody who's got strep once in a while. It'll hurt you, but man, I'll tell you what, it's.
Well, I agree with you. Being sick sometimes, does help boost your immune system if you can fight it yourself. And like I said, it's a last resort for me. So we have a lot of antibiotics. And I doubt I would probably use any of them. They would probably be for somebody else. And that's the weird thing. I mean, I'll take...
too, you know, it's a bargaining chip. You know, you got somebody who's... Somebody on their team got their leg gashed open and has a horrible infection, is going to die. You say, hey, you know, what's this worth to you? You know, that's the other kind of thing we talk about a lot is things to have around. I'm not a drinker at all. I don't touch the stuff ever, and we don't quite have the space for it now. But I'd said on several occasions, I said, we need to go get a few bottles of some cheap liquor or something, stash that up, and, you know, because that, hey, you know, what's this worth to you? You know, one, it's a disinfectant, and two, you know, that's the kind of stuff that people are going to want. You know, soap, cigarettes, and alcohol. Tampons. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, I feel like, hey, I got those pearls with the nice shiny purple wrappers on them, you know, I'm $5 a piece. You know?
That's a good subject. What are you ladies going to do? You know, maybe some of you are past that time, but all the ones that are still of menstruating age, I mean, you know, what are you going to do when you run out of tampons? Obviously, you can use cloth or something like that, but at some point, it's just nasty.
I'm going to kill myself. It's probably, that's probably when I'm going to blow my head off. I'm like, there's no hope for humanity. I don't want to live anymore. You know, but...
Well, tampons are bad for you anyway. If you really ever looked at them, you just get some cloth, carry some, rinse them out. They really are bad for you. This is deodorant.
You can look on eBay. They have cloth menstrual pads, and they're really not that bad.
And thank God I don't have to worry about that anymore.
And if you know, they put chemicals in menstrual pads. They put chemicals in the tampons.
Yeah, bleach, all that.
I mean, women have got to... About 2 years ago, a friend of mine said, are you using deodorant? You've had breast cancer twice. I said, yes. She said, stop using deodorant or antiperspirant. I did. And you know what? That smell eventually goes away that, you know, we all think we have. It may take you 6 months to detox. But what are you going to do, you know, if you can't have those things, which I suggest everybody get off of them now. They're so bad for you. Shampoo, honey, you can clean yourself with honey. Even if you get into a lake, you can just use mud and stuff, and it's actually a good exfoliant. You may not smell like some artificial perfume, but you're going to be clean. And honey's excellent. So if you can find a beehive and you're not scared of bees, which I'm not, I'll go get that honey, I'll tell you. That is excellent for your face. So.
Yeah, but this year honey's really hard to get because we had that hard freeze in the Midwest.
Yeah. My sister keeps her whole thing died. All of them, the whole damn thing.
Yeah, my neighbor had over 160 hives and they all died.
Every one of them.
Honey's a natural antiseptic too. Like if you have a cut or a wound.
Yep.
And it never goes bad.
Never goes bad.
And didn't they find some Egyptian honey that was still good? Like
they found some in Egypt. They found some in Pompeii that was still good in from the volcano. This stuff will last 1,000 years, you know.
I'm a honey addict. I would have loved to just taste it. I mean, I'm a connoisseur at this point of honey. So
luckily, we got a local grower that sells wild honey around here.
Who knew that bee vomit would be so useful in so many different ways?
Right? I don't use any sugar. We have organic sugar and maple sugar here for people who use sugar, but I have gotten myself completely off of sugar. So just because it was my thing. You know.
That's the thing I worry about if like in a real SHTF. You know, say the supply line shuts down, you know, whatever the kicker may be. Now you've got, you know, what are we up to in America now? 300 million people. So let's just say that half of that population is adults, 150 million. So let's just say 3/4 of those people are smokers, drinkers, coffee freaks, sugar addicts, fast food people. All those people suddenly lose all that, and the whole world is collectively freaking the F out because all the Diet Coke heads and all the Starbucks people are out of luck, all the Big Mac people, all the sugar fiends, you know, I'm not going to sit here like I'm, you know, that green smoothie thing, that, you know, that's probably the one time all day I eat anything normal, but That's the thing that scares me, is not necessarily, rioting, looting. It's all the people freaking out, like the nicotine freaks and the caffeine people going crazy. I haven't had coffee in 3 days. Which maybe would make, getting some cheap coffee a good bargaining chip too. Like, hey, what's this worth to ya?
What's that, chicory or whatever people used to drink in place? Chicory?
Yeah. It grows over here, and it's disgusting, man. I don't know how people drink that crap. But
in the Second War.
Yeah, Fabrizio's saying that's what they did after the war.
No, during the war.
During the war. Well, I'm sure after for a while. It's not like things got good.
Sanctions. We can't get any coffee.
They the sanctions on them. They couldn't get any coffee, so they were all drinking chicory. Ooh.
Well, I think, if after a while, if you didn't have coffee and you were a coffee addict, that chicory would be okay. I would think.
You get used to it. I strategically get off coffee for health reasons every few months or so. I'm off again now, so if the shit hits a fan this week, I'm good. No headaches for me. I'm all right. I will bargain off my coffee. Now he's looking at me. No, you don't. I'll be like, I'm sorry, darling. This is now worth $100. It's going. Sorry.
I drink like 1 cup a day. It's a small cup, too, of coffee. So I don't drink a lot of coffee. I'm trying to wean myself to where I could handle it and be prepared. Smoking, that's going to be my thing.
That's going to be the...
I have coffee that's like 5 years expired in my house, and my neighbor came looking for some coffee, and I gave him that coffee, and he didn't come with any complaints back. So.
Are you sure it didn't kill him or something?
Didn't kill him. He's still alive.
Okay, I was going to say, you didn't see him afterwards, right? He was
Yes, ma'am.
petrified on his... So.
They used to make cigarettes years ago with chicory in it out in California.
Really?
And they were really weird tasting. They were called tramps.
Tramps!
Well, there you go. I mean, there's alternatives. Shoot, everybody might start smoking pot. I mean, pot's going to be grown everywhere. So, I mean, I guess if you needed a fix, you could just smoke a joint.
Yeah, but nicotine's not the same.
Nah, it's not, but you'll forget about that nicotine.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping in mind, though, that when this happens, pretty much all the rules are out the window. So, people could feasibly grow their own tobacco, grow their own pot, grow opium for poppies, and all that crap. So, whatever. Anything's pretty much going to go at that point.
Yeah.
I think poppies would be a good thing for people to grow. My aunt used to grow poppies and make a tea, and when we were sick, like had a stomach virus or something, she would give us this tea. It made me sleepy, I guess, but I didn't get sick. She like morning glory. She drank morning glory tea. That was kind of like her high in the morning to get up and make us all get up and go work on a farm, and everybody wait in line to get used to outhouse. It was like, damn, what's wrong with this woman? But I love her for it now. I mean, the things she taught us, I don't know if I exactly drink morning glory tea, though.
I don't either. Hey.
My ma used to swear by chamomile.
I
like chamomile. It's good for your stomach.
I had 2 cups last night, tried to go to sleep, and it didn't do anything.
It doesn't work on me either going to sleep. I just have to focus myself and tell myself it's time to go to sleep. I kind of hypnotize myself to go to sleep.
Yeah, the chamomile bags, I guess, too, are good. Like a poultice, you get bug bites and rashes and whatnot. It's good for skin. You can use them on your eyes, but you get like I got all bit up picking those damn mulberries yesterday. I started drinking the chamomile again because of my stomach, and I'm sitting here with the bag on my elbow. I'm like, God, this is great. I'm like, look at that survival. It's the hard part is just trying to remember all these little things, and it's like, God, it's if things go nuts and I haven't slept in 4 days and I haven't had anything to eat, I'm gonna be freaking out. I'm not gonna remember any of this stuff.
You'll remember it. When the hard times come, you get very inventive, and you'll find that you're surprisingly calm. When I was a child, my mom and we lived literally out on the streets, and you would be surprised at some of the ingenious crap that we came up with, trying to stay warm, trying to find food and stuff like that. And we hadn't had any classes or any chats with people about how to take care of ourselves. We would find an opportunity and jump on it, and that's basically what it's going to be like. When things go bad, whatever your environment is at the time, you're going to start looking at all those things around you in quite a different way.
Well, do you suppose though? I mean, I don't want. How old are you? I don't want to pry, but I don't want to. Everybody
I'm in my 30s.
Okay, so we're kind of about in the same. So I kind of wonder though if that isn't sort of part of, having grown up a little bit. I'm going to be 40 next month, so we grew up a little bit different, and I work now. I have unfortunately a lot of contact with like teenagers, early 20s and stuff, and it's like, these people, they couldn't shit without a map, and that's the kind of thing that really frightens me, is that this total helpless panic kind of thing that they have, because, I mean, we had one girl come in and she lived the next town over from where we were, and she was asking as she's leaving, what's the address, because she's trying to, put it in her GPS so she can get home. And we're like, well, how did you get here? Well, I put it in my GPS. And we're like, you literally live, 4 miles down the road. It's 2 turns to get to, I know exactly where you live. Oh, I can't go anywhere without this thing. So
they
I
don't
look
know how to read maps today, the kids don't.
No, I mean, but even then, it's like, if you're living in the same place for almost 20 years, I would think at some point you might have, seen how to get, just no clue whatsoever.
Well, that's a failure on the parents' part. It's every parent's responsibility to take their kids and say, hey, you need to learn this. Whether they want to or not, whether they're accepting of it or not, you need to learn how to take care of yourself.
Right, but we've got so many that aren't. I mean, I read this stuff. I'm not a parent, but I mean, I read this stuff. And I just want to gouge my own eyes out. These, kids are graduating from college. I feel dumb saying kids, but I could have a 20-year-old. But they're graduating from college, they're going on job interviews, and the parents are coming with. They're like, well, I want to help negotiate your salary. I mean, these dipshits, I'm like terrified, because it's not so much like, okay, I'm going to be surrounded by people who are going to be, scared and panicked and hungry like they normally would. On top of that, they're like immature baby dipshits in the bodies of like dangerous adults. That's the real scary part. It's like it's going to be 100 million 4-year-olds out there that can actually fight. That we're going to be up against. These aren't people who can use their brains and think and solve a problem and say, okay, shit, I'm really hungry. What do I do? I'm really thirsty. What do I do? It's like total panic meltdown because these dumb shits can't even. Their cell phone dies and it's like, my world is ending. They're on Facebook. I hate my life.
The zombies are already here, folks. They're already here.
You know what? I'll be able to pick them off a lot quicker, I guess. I don't know, but. Too bad they're not
we got a storm blowing through, so it's kind of messing with my connection.
Oh. I was wondering what that was.
I think something else we should talk about is our own personal defense. I'm sure that every one of the ladies here on the panel can probably handle a weapon and take care of themselves, but how many of the ladies watching this or will watch it later have no idea, have never even held a gun before, haven't learned how to fight with a knife?
Can't say I've learned how to fight with a knife, although I suppose I could. But I figure, why let them get that close? I don't want to sweat. Get my
I have a katana, so I'll just do it from a distance.
That's at least get something that long.
I don't
know. I got pepper spray, a Kubotan, and a stun gun, and knives.
I'm not going to say what we have, or I have, but I'm as prepared as probably most of you ladies there are. I like the crossbow, but it's hard. It's hard to pull back on. I need to get something to, yeah.
A lot of people think guns, but crossbow's a good point because it's quiet. There's going to be situations where you need to be quiet in order to take out the enemy.
Yeah.
And also finding ammunition. You can retrieve arrows or make new arrows versus trying to reload some ammo.
Yeah, that's the one thing I worry about. I'm like, okay, 4 years in, what are we doing? 4 years in, I'm, hacking down a broom handle trying to make a spear. Oh, God, why did I do this before?
But you know what? If you can make a spear tip, you can get some, we got foxgloves up here, and I mean, oleander and all kind of stuff are poisonous. And you can crush up some foxgloves and put that on the tip of a spear or something, and seriously, you'd kill somebody, give them a heart attack if you just wounding them. So, I mean, you can get creative. But this is what I think: if shit hits the fan and everything goes down, and we don't have computers or electricity, people's instinct will immediately start coming back to them within a week, due to the fact we live in this electronic soup that is killing our instinct. And it will come back to us, and I think a lot of people will wake up once that happens.
Do you think, though, that is deliberate? You know, I mean, part of me wants to think, oh, the wonderful spirit of human invention, we create all these great things that are, you know, better and faster and smaller and help us do more, which, you know, is a bad thing on one hand. On the other hand, it is a good thing. But, you know, there's part of me that wonders, do you suppose this is kind of a deliberate attempt at, like you said, but an electronic suit? I mean, that's a great way to put it. You know, it's like you know, you're in a fishbowl, and do you think that that's kind of deliberate to kind of, you know, sort of you know, kind of taming us, if you will, kind of keeping us dependent that, oh God, the phone is out, I don't know how to get home, oh God, the computer's not working, I don't know how to boil water, oh God, I don't, you know. I don't think it started out intentional, but, you know, there's a rise and fall with, you know, the more technology you have, the less intelligence that you have. And so, you know, of course there's people taking advantage of this. So, you know, the equilibrium's off, obviously, and there's going to be quite a few people out there, men, women, young and old, who are so encompassed in their technology that they're not going to know what to do when they don't have it anymore. And those people are going to be the ones who either die first, or, you know, they're taken as slaves for whatever reason. You know, they're going to be killed. Whatever happens, you know, those people, it's the survival of the fittest is going to change to the people who actually have a brain. Right, right. They were, I heard something, a little blurb on that. I don't actually live in the city of Chicago. We're probably about like 30 miles out. But Mayor Emanuel was trying to put up some kind of sensor things that were going to, they've got these cameras that go all over the place. They, you know, spy cameras, police cameras, they call them. They were going to put up some thing, and, you know, they're doing this to deter crime, that is going to receive data off your cell phone if you're standing near them. Which is, first of all, I'm like, well, what data exactly? What is, you know? If you're just standing there, then they can read. You know, they know who you are. They might be able to find out where you live. You know, I don't know what else they'd be getting off the phone exactly, but you know, it's almost as if it's, you know, it's kind of
control grid.
Yeah,
it's a control grid. They've controlled everything. I mean, our little town, a little girl got kidnapped and they never found her. It's got probably, at tops, 900 people living in it down the road. And they've got cameras all over the place because of this one missing child. And it's like, it's a control grid. People now just bypass that town and go to the next town that doesn't have that. So this town's like a dust bowl. Even the bar closed.
We got somebody.
It's bad. Huh? Did she
I
go?
live in a cornfield, so I don't care.
I wish I lived in a cornfield. That'd be great, you know. Oh man, that's where it's at. I'll tell you, that's over here. They're ridiculous. There's red light cameras, and, you know, again, we're just in the suburbs, and the police out here. I want to say this town has maybe about like 50,000 people, and it's, you know, it's not a small town, but all the cops drive these like Escalade things. You know, these cars have to cost $70,000. They've got Dodge Chargers, and I said, what are you planning to do? You're gonna have a high-speed chase through the apartment complex over here and, you know, run somebody over? What is this for? It's absurd. I mean, I lived in this town about 20 years ago, and we just moved back up here, and I'm appalled, you know. And I would expect this in Chicago. I was shocked to see this out here. Most of the suburbs around here aren't that bad yet. And they said, well, you know, this place is kind of known for having a crime problem. And I'm like, well, it doesn't have a high-speed chase problem. It doesn't have a frickin' Branch Davidian problem where you need battering rams on the fronts of your Escalades. What is this? It's bizarre, you know. Yeah, the biggest crime that happens around here.
Trafficking Mexican salsa.
You know, there's crime and there's drugs and whatever, but it's everywhere, really, and it kind of aggravates me. It's like, man, you know, we were talking about buying a house, and now I've been back up here for almost 2 years now, and I'm like, I don't know if I even want to be a property owner up here and have my property taxes paying for this crap. You know, this is absurd. They probably have $2 million worth of cop cars for a town of 50,000 people. That, you know, there was a murder the other night. Okay, fine. You know, we have our 5 murders a year. What do you got? You got to roll out the Navy SEALs for that every time something happens. It's insane. You know, it's terrifying.
It's gotten out of hand. It is a police state. I think we all know it is a police state at this point. When little towns are getting, you know, them MRAP vehicles and stuff. We saw one Kitty did the other day driving down a rural road headed our way. He was behind one, and it said Washington State Patrol on it, but this thing looked like it was set to go into battle, you know, with the people, and we pay their salary. I say quit paying taxes. I'm backing completely out of the system because I want the system to go down, you know, maybe not on a shit hits the fan level, but it's got to change, and I don't vote or anything, so it's just something's got to change. I don't even want it called government because that word's a psyop. Look that word up. In Latin, govern means control, ment means the mind. So that word right there, government, means we control your mind. I don't even want the next system called that.
I don't blame you. I think though, and I guess in keeping with the theme of Ladies' Night, then, you know, and I kind of feel funny saying this, but I think a lot of what we're seeing get rolled in, a lot of that has kind of been on the backs of women. Like, I get, you know, and again, I'm not a parent, but I get this when I watch these speeches, and, you know, especially with the current administration, they're constantly dragging the kids onto stage, and don't you want your children to be safe, and children of the, you know, and I almost get the idea that they're really going out of their way to emotionally manipulate people, and is that, you know, you need this, come on moms, stand behind us, we'll save your children. Look at all your children are getting killed, your children don't know how to eat properly, your children aren't being taught in school, you know, everything's about the damn children. And yes, I understand children are terrific, and I'm sure everybody loves their kids, and I love your kids too, but, you know, I hate to even say this, but I think a lot of women are so damn stupid that they will just, yes, I will do whatever you say, please protect my children. It's like, protecting your children is your job, because we see police officers, no-knock warrants, coming in and throwing a flashbang grenade into the crib with your baby. They're not protecting anybody's children, you know, and
I agree, and then they vaccinate them. I was a public school teacher, and I also taught special needs, and on moral grounds, I quit teaching. So I'm like an ex-con school teacher. So and I got 6 other teachers to quit with me, and the school nurse, and that was kind of right when No Child Left Behind came in, and Big Pharma started labeling kids. And
the public schools now are terrible.
Yeah, I pulled my own kid out. I homeschooled him and told him, when you can take your GED, take it. He did. But my daughter, she gave birth at home. See, now my daughter's organic, and she won't vaccinate her children and stuff, and she gave birth at home. They came to her house and said, well, we have to do a certificate of birth. And she still has not got, my youngest granddaughter, a certificate of birth. So I'm really proud of her for that. So I don't know how it's going to go. They're going to threaten her with all kind of stuff. But so far, it's just been threats. But you don't vaccinate your children.
Have any of you guys had people make fun of you because you prep?
Yes.
Make comments?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
People call me crazy. They call me paranoid. They call me all kinds of things. And considering, especially after... I didn't get really, really seriously into it like I am now until probably maybe about like the last 4 years or so was when I really got into it. I've always kind of been awake, and I've always kind of been a little, you know, people, you know, a little tinfoily, and always a little, I see what you did there, President, you know, and pointing out the ads to people. I've always been kind of like that. But I didn't get really seriously into like actively doing something about it until the last 4 years. And, you know, I had people kind of laughing, oh, you're crazy, you're paranoid, you know, you think that, you know, the government's coming to get you, ha, ha, ha. And I said, you know what about all the other factors that have happened since 2008, the collapse? How many people lost their jobs? How many people lost their homes? I said, gee, wouldn't it have been terrific when, you know, talking to people I knew, when, you know, you or your husband or both of you, when you guys lost your jobs, if you'd already had 4 months worth of food sitting in your basement, and you didn't have to worry about how you were going to feed your kids for 4 months, and then you could concentrate on, okay, how do we keep the lights on? How do we pay the mortgage? You know, how do we, you know, keep our insurance going? You've already got your food. You don't have to worry about that money anymore. And I'd say that to people, and all of a sudden they'd be like, hey, you're right. Hey, yeah, oh, well, duh. You know, prepping doesn't necessarily mean you're prepping for zombies or a nuclear holocaust. You could be prepping for loss of a job. You could be prepping for an injury. You know, I mean, I work with my hands. I get in a car accident and I freaking get my arm ripped off. We're screwed. We're done. We're done. You know, I'll be punching keys with my left hand at freaking Walmart because I have no skills whatsoever. So that's something I have to consider. I have to keep a little bit of money aside, keep a little bit of food aside, because if something happens, and it doesn't have to be, you know, and people don't understand. They hear prepping and they think that stupid Doomsday Prepper show. When that came out, I flipped my wig when that shot. I said, look, they're going to find the biggest bunch of crazy freaks and make this whole thing look like a bunch of damn lunatics, which they did. And at the same time, you've got, you know, ready.gov, the government website saying, have, you know, a week's worth of water, have a month's worth of food. Okay, well, the government is telling you to do this, but at the same time, oh, these people who are preppers are dangerous lunatics. And of course, you know, every dummy in the world's believing it. Oh my God, they've got dried beans in their basement. They're terrorists. You know?
Well, then they were saying if you had more than 7 days, you were a terrorist.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
I want to welcome Julianne here. I just saw she popped in. Hey, Julianne.
Hi. How are you?
Very good. Hiding. You're hiding.
Well, I'm in a dark area, so you're not going to be able to see me too well. And I don't have lights around me right now, so. But I'm here. I made it.
Welcome, and everyone, if you don't know who Julianne is, that's DJ Moore's wife.
Ah, cool.
He's sitting here. I'm being supervised, I'll have you know.
Yeah, so am I.
Well, here's the problem, is because I've taken over his computer now, and it's like I cut off his arm. Like he doesn't know what to do. He's staggering around like, So I'll
DJ Moore wants to know why you're going off on the Branch Davidians. He wants to know why, you know, they decided to live their lives on their own terms and grow their own food and teach their kids at the compound. But I think that what happened with the media really spun that in the wrong way, because I was living in Texas at the time, and I was probably about 14 years old and watching all this happen on the news and everything, and I saw how they were spinning it, and they made them look to be like terrible people who, you know, child molesters and everything. And you know, now that I'm older and I've looked into it more, the actual story is quite a bit different than the way that the media portrayed it.
Yes. That, unfortunately, that was back before, you know, social media wasn't a thing. There was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, so these stories couldn't spread like they do now. You know, when you have the guy who shoots the cop who shoots the dog, that story gets around the world in a half a minute. You know, now, or back then, that was it. You know, whatever was on CNN and in the New York Times, that's it. That's all you got. Because I remember when that happened. I thought I was, what was that, 91, 92? When was that? Yeah. The Branch Davidian thing. It was like 90. I was getting done with high school or something like that, and I remember that. And I was like, man, what a bunch of kooks, man, what a bunch of wackos. They fucking toxic. You know, at the time I was big. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I have done a total 180 on my whole politics and everything. So at the time, you know, I was all, oh man, I'm glad that, you know, those kooks and all this stuff. And then the tanks roll in and killed everybody, and I was like, well, you know, they were hoarding a bunch of weapons. They were terrorists. So yeah, okay, all right, I guess, you know, the world is safe now, because I believed, you know, I believed the official story back then, but. You know, I think that was it. It was this great big thread of these people who were proving that they could be self-sustaining, they could have their own community, they could make their own laws and live peaceably, they could basically be off the teat, if you will, and they weren't having it, you know, because God forbid that sort of thing gets out and everybody else figures out that they can live like this, and then we're screwed. You know, we got to blow these fuckers off the map right now before anybody else catches on, could organize peacefully on your own without the government telling you when to eat and when to sleep and when to shit.
Look, I think
it's funny. I grew up in a household where my father was a Republican and my stepmom was a Democrat, and they were always fighting about, you know, what was what. And, you know, my stepmom would take me to, you know, the picket line whenever they would be, you know, protesting, you know, their next deal or whatever, you know, and, you know, she had me yelling, calling people scabs and whatnot. And then, you know, here on the other hand, I've got my dad who's all into guns and, you know, very, very, very conservative the other direction. And over the years, my stepmom started changing her mind, and she started seeing what was happening and everything. And she's passed on now, but by the time that she passed, she had changed her mind on all of those views that she had before. She no longer supported unions. She no longer believed that Democrats were the way to go, you know. And it's really sad that it took her so long to come around to it, but there's a lot of people that are still in that position. They're still blind because they believe whatever's on TV. They believe whatever they see, you know, on the front page on their Google or Yahoo page that comes up and says, oh, this is the leading story, and they read that and they believe it instead of actually looking into it more.
And all they're putting up there is what the government tells them to.
Right.
Everyone should do a video on shooting their TV. I mean, that would make a grand statement. We did it. I think everybody else should do it.
We've been there without TV for 3 years now.
Wow.
And I cut off the TV because we were prepping, and I wanted to use that money towards prepping and not pay an outrageous cable bill.
Yeah, cable's insane, man. And you say that to people, get rid of your cable, and they, you know, we haven't had cable in... I didn't even have a television at all for about 5 years. I didn't miss it, you know.
Miss it for a long time and went through withdrawals. But now, you know, most of the shows that we see, you know, we can find on Hulu or online or.
Right. I love to watch movies, so that's probably never going to change. But yeah, it's as far as actually like television, I can't stand that. You know, I go to people's houses and they've just got it on. You know, they'll have 3 TVs on playing 3 different things in 3 different rooms, and I'm just, and I'm like, aren't you losing your mind? And ads for this, the ads are the ones that kill me. I always tell people, I said, if you really want to see the barometer of where we're at socially, watch television commercials. That right there is the barometer of where they want us to be, and then it reflects. You know, I watch all these commercials, and you know, and every man in these commercials is this whinging little pussy, and I don't know how to buy a car. Where should I go? I should go to CarMax. You know, and it's awful. I watch these, you know, and I can't help it. And I say this stuff to people. They look at me. They're like, "You are freaking bats," and I'm like, you know what? I can't unsee it. You know, it's like everything is like the Matrix to me now. Like everything, I'm looking at it. I'm like, you're manipulating me. You're manipulating me. You're manipulating me. And perhaps that makes me nuts, but it's like, you know what? I don't get suckered into buying a lot of dumb shit because all of a sudden I realize, gee, you know, if I don't have this thing, my husband's going to leave me for somebody younger and thinner, and my friends aren't going to like me, and I'm going to feel bad about myself, so I need to get this car. You know, I'm not in that thing anymore, and it's, you know, if that makes me crazy, great. I'll be crazy.
I learned how to use a mute button real quick when the ads come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, they're awful. You know, these silly ads and the liquor ads and then the food ads. It just drives me bad.
And the erectile dysfunction ads.
Oh, my God, every other, ask your doctor if this is right for you. Ask your doctor if this is right for you. Ask your doctor if this is right for you. It's like, you know, the way this works is this guy spends 10 years in school and then another X amount of years practicing. I should not be the ding-dong coming in and telling him, you need to give me this drug. You know, why am I telling this guy how to do his job? Why am I going in there and saying, yeah, you know what, my stomach hurts, so I think I need Prilosec. And he goes, you know what, you're right, you're a genius. Here you go. Go get some Prilosec. That's not how that's supposed to work. But that's what they want. You know, they're getting a kickback, and you know, and don't even get me started on Big Pharma. But you know, that whole thing is just pushing everybody. And you know, now they got this other stupid one, that Abilify, and oh, my antidepressant isn't enough. That's right. So now you need to start cocktailing. Drugs didn't work. Take more drugs. That's clearly your solution. Just
well, you know, I work at a large corporation, and just yesterday they had our on-site pharmacist with a big table set up telling us about all these prescriptions that we should be asking our doctors about and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why is he doing this? You know? And so obviously there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about for this large corporation that I'm working for to be having an on-site pharmacist, number one, and number two, having him set up a table with information about all of these different medications that we might possibly need for being overweight or depressed or whatever our particular issue is. And he would sit there and talk to these people and find out what their problems were so that he could try to get them to ask their doctors about different medications.
That is bizarre.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it was very nice
look at the
talking to
warnings on it too. You get, cancer and everything from half of that crap.
Right. God, the list of side effects alone is
The
terrible.
storm is getting worse, and my battery's getting low, so I'm going to say goodnight to y'all.
Well, thanks for joining us, Michelle.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
You know what? I will say this about Ladies' Night. I notice a 99% decrease in the use of the F word. I think I'm probably the only one who said it so far, but I got it.
You are, but that's okay. Mr. Tommy Boy says that you're the mule of the ladies' chat.
Oh no. Well, that's a good thing. I'll take that. Sorry. I'm trying really hard to curb it. I got to work at that. But yeah.
Should we all say the F-bomb or something? I mean.
No, I don't feel no, that's okay. Believe me, I dislike it. I dislike that I talk that way. It irritates me because not that I think it's low class. I just think it sounds unintelligent. And I know I'm not the brightest bulb on the string, but I'm not the dim one either. So I can do better than that. It does bother me that I talk that way. But my God, I'll be over here in the next room, and Tendo will be out here on the chats, and it's just fuckity fuck. I'm like, all right already. Oh, my ears, Jeez, holy moly. But
my husband's probably one of the biggest ones on there doing it too.
Yeah, well, if I root through all the F words, I eventually get to what they're getting at. But I was just saying, I said, my goodness, this has been
Your husband tells all the dirty jokes.
Yeah, he does. You got that right. But Mule always asking for a joke usually.
I don't know. I can never remember any dirty jokes. I'd tell you one, but I can't think of any offhand right now, unfortunately. You'd think I'd remember a lot more. I used to be a bartender for a while, so you'd think I'd remember all the dirty jokes. I don't. No.
Yeah, my husband steals all my jokes, so I have nothing.
I could date myself and tell us all to do the fish cheer from Woodstock.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, good. That'd be good.
Then we'd catch up to the guys. I don't think I've ever done that.
Now both of us would be showing our age because I like Country Joe and the Fish. So I like the fish cheer. I like Country Joe. So yeah, we'd be showing our age.
Yeah, real quick.
I'm sitting here like I got nothing. I have no idea. I don't know where.
So Juliana, we haven't gotten to hear much from you yet. So do you got any good tips for us, or any input on anything we've been talking about?
No, not really. I just kind of jumped in here because I felt obligated in a sort of sense, because DJ's always on, and I'm not really, this first chat I've ever done, actually, to be honest, except for a chat with Linda, one-on-one. So this is all kind of new to me, so bear with me, and I guess if I something else to say, I will. Okay.
All right. Well, if we get too loud and you want to say something, just tell us to shut up.
No. Okay.
I'm the Ladies' Night.
The mule lady, yeah, Connor is Irish too. So
oh, thanks. Yeah, he's agreeing. Thanks a lot. Sure.
So we haven't really been talking to the chatters very much, but we've got Southern Style 357, Mr. Tommy Boy 9, Naked Eyes, Mindy Patriot Angel, who corrected us. It was 1993 that the Waco incident happened.
93.
We've got 69 Bones. We've got DJ Moore. We've got Rebel. Joel Sweatman, Jason Brumfeld, Whiskey Leech 20, Calmer Sue, El Chavez. She was talking about how there's a reusable menstruation cup you can use, rinse and reuse. I tried those. They don't work very well for me.
No, they don't. They're icky.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing too, is that you're rinsing that out. Let's say you're out in the middle of the woods or whatever. God, all the freaking scavengers you're gonna attract with that. You have foxes, you have bears, you're gonna have raccoons. My God, you're gonna be fighting off wild animals all night.
Mrs. Stinger says that's a good way to go hunting: attract the animals and then kill them.
They can smell you menstruating anyway, though. So think about that. They have such high senses. They're going to be able to smell that whether you got a tampon on or not. So.
Be like, honey, go outside and shake your ass out there. We got to get some animals over here. Yeah, he's saying catch Dracula too. All right, gross. Come on.
We got a great comment from Tommy Stock 64. He says, as good, if not better, than the all-male version, and I'm enjoying hearing that the ladies have brains of their own.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We love you, Tommy.
Thank you. Very nice. See? Even without the F word, it's just as entertaining. See, it can be done.
Well, we can say fuck to Tommy. Hey, fucking Tommy, thank you.
And DJ says, El Tenda, did you shave so you could be on there tonight?
Yeah, I can. And I am too.
It's funny because my band never gets on the chats. It's always me.
Yeah.
It's me. He very seldom, he just pops in for a second and then jumps right back out.
Yeah.
He pushes me to the front. Here, you do it all.
I'm always.
Is that the way it always is?
Yeah.
Mine's always on. He's even in the after chats until 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sleeping hearing him talking to somebody.
Yeah, that's me too.
Have you guys ever had those dreams about the chats? The guys are still on talking, you go to bed and you start dreaming all this whacked out crap that they're talking about?
Yep.
I freaking dreamed once and I could hear Tactical Tony like narrating something. And then I'm like, Tactical Tony's in my dreams. What is this? Man.
No.
I don't even remember. I was dreaming about something stupid, and he was like narrating. I could hear him, and then the fucking guy was like, it was bizarre. I woke up. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm like, I need to start going outside when you're chatting because these guys are like invading my unconscious now.
I'm best to sleep. I don't do like.
Shut the door. I'm officially on the couch, anyways. So.
And that's Tony's favorite word anyway. Is fuck. He says it every other
And
word.
pussy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he back with the Indian chat? Because I've missed the chats lately. Does anybody know?
He's off and on.
Okay.
He's, like madly in love or something, I guess.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet.
Well, he's young. He'll
Started on
get
Tony.
into it.
I got
Yeah,
kids.
let's not talk about Tony. It's a girls' night. We're not going to talk about
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was asking about, people making fun of you, my own kids have made fun of us.
Yeah. My family makes fun
They're
of
in
me.
their 30s.
Mm.
All my workers, co-workers.
Yeah. Fabrizio says his coworkers give him a hard time.
Yeah, they always tell me, oh, you're going to kill me one of these days? I'm like, no, you're going to be the last one. I don't want to even waste my ammo with you. I'm going to use the stock.
Well, that's
great.
it's this automatic assumption that if you're doing this, you're up to no good. You're plotting trouble. You're hostile, whatever. And it's like, you know what? I just want to be able to take care of myself. I had anybody remotely close to the Midwest knows how horrible. You were saying about the bees dying, how bad it was over the Midwest. I mean, it was like Alaskan winter over here. It was horrible. People died and all kinds of horrible stuff happened. It's never been that bad, in 30 years. So, here I am in this apartment building. The power goes out. Everything here is electric. The heat is electric. So all the heat went out, and it was like -40 that night. There was a guy living up, or a family upstairs, and you had 3 little kids, and I could hear them running around, screaming, panicking, and he's yelling at her, and she's yelling at him, shut the fuck up, I don't know what to, just stop it. You know, I mean, they're freaking out. We got fireplaces over here. I go over there, I build a fireplace, I put on we had headlamps, I put on a headlamp, I busted out some knitting. I'm like, well, okay, I get, you know, and I'm like, I'm fine. You know, I got a propane stove already. You know, I mean, it's people just assume, oh, you're a prepper. You know, you're trying to take over the government. No, I'm just trying not to die if, you know, I get snowed in and you know, we have a horrible blizzard and the power goes out, because it happened here. It happened on the East Coast. It happened in the Midwest. It happened down south. Everybody was in a total panic. You know, we didn't go to work for a few days because they shut the place down. Power was going out everywhere, you know, and people just automatically assume, and I think that TV show was really the final nail in the coffin, that, you know, if you're doing this, you're up to no good, and you're trying to take over the government, you want to kill people, and you're going to be going around robbing all your neighbors when the shit hits the fan. And it's like, you know, there are so many other things you could be prepping for. And I explain this to my whole family. They think I'm nuts. They think I'm completely insane, that I would be thinking, gee, I could be out of work for a while, I might need some food. Gee, there could be a weather disaster and I might not be able to leave for a few days. Gee, you know, there could be a disease outbreak. There could be anything, you know, and they act like I'm crazy. And it's like, you know, it happens all over the world every single day. We just don't see these things in America all the time, so we just assume they don't exist here, you know, and the party will never end.
That's why it's important that we talk to the people around us, because they're getting all that crap coming into them from the media trying to drive yet another wedge. But if we talk to each other and we talk to the people that we work with and the people that we're neighbors with and everything, and make them understand that being a prepper means that you're prepared for being unemployed, or the weather, or if somebody drives a house down the street and you're without electricity for 3 days, those kind of things, which that did happen to us. You know, that whatever happens, that you're ready for it, and you're not one of those people that are running around, what do I do, what do I do? And so when you finally take the time to talk to them and everything, they wake up a little bit. You plant that seed, and then slowly over time, it gets watered and flourishes and grows. And you know, sometimes you're the only person that they're going to talk to, and so you got to take that opportunity and talk to them about it.
I find this bizarre, because 20 years ago it was completely normal for everyone, even 20 years ago and back farther, for everyone to prepare, you know, with their gardens and stuff for the next year. And they have taken this word prepper, and I would just say, just be prepared, like you just said, Riddle Girl. It's just being prepared. The prepper word's got a bad label. Call it something else. Just say, I am a prepared person in the event something happens. Because it did get a bad rap. 20 years ago, you'd have never heard one person say anything bad about it. That's how bad I think TV and what I like to call it, this government propaganda media has brainwashed people into thinking that what was normal 20 years ago is now stupid and you're crazy to do it today. And it's not true, because if you live down in Florida, you must be prepared for a hurricane or along the Gulf Coast. Where I live, you must be prepared for a tsunami or for a volcano. Where everybody lives, there's tornadoes. You must be prepared and have, I mean, this is just for the acts of nature, and people did this. And now all of a sudden it's become a taboo thing. And I think that's insanity, or cognitive dissonance is settled in. I don't know what it is. So I get away from the label of prepping and just say, I'm a prepared person for in the event of emergency.
Well, we're in this instant gratification society, so they're training us to think that we're always going to have what we need, and that we're always going to have exactly what we want at a moment's notice, anytime. You can always go down to the local store and get what you need. It's always going to be fully stocked. They're training us in this way because at some point the government wants to have control of the food. They want to have control of the people, and the only way that you can control the people is to control their food. You can control what they see and what they listen to, what they hear. They're already controlling much of that now, so it's just taking it to another step. Anybody who's read the book 1984 knows that he was right on with what's been going on, you know, and you know, maybe it's a little later now in the progress from what he was envisioning, but a lot of those things have happened and are happening, and we can see will happen.
That's like we were out in the garden earlier, and I said we don't have any volunteer tomatoes like we used to have every year, and that's because of the GMO.
Yep.
You know, we used to every year we'd have a big patch of tomatoes come up. We had to put everything fresh in except horseradish this year.
That's why seed saving is going to get to be so important too. That stuff's going to be worth more than gold. Get a hold of heirloom strains. You know, I did some when we had the garden at the house. I saved some. I didn't even plant some of what I had already bought, but you know, getting online and getting some of those, you know, buying some of those, you know, those packs that you get. They started out real ridiculous for a while. I think people kind of got wise. You know, they were selling them for like $300-400. You know, now you can find them. People are selling them for $40-50. You know, that
I trust them. We just tried a pack of one year. We tried a pack of these the seed vault bank things that'll do a 5-acre garden, and it sucked. And I went back to my heirloom seeds because that's what we do, is we save our seeds, and we trade with some friends that have stuff and trade back and forth. But that thing sucked. It didn't work. I don't know. It was like the shittiest seeds you could ever gotten. Yeah, it was like one of those $200 things.
Yeah, that whole thing turned out to be a big turd, a real big turd. I got a hold because I got one of those and it was okay. You know, the tomatoes were okay. Everything else that came up was garbage. But I'll get a little bit here, I'll get a little bit there. Sometimes there was a farmer's market that they used to, and there was a guy who would sell packets, and I bought a bunch of them, and I actually grew some. You know, we got this little, 5x15 concrete slab of a patio out here, and I grew stuff out there. I had watermelons going, I had tomatoes going. It was awesome. The squirrels came in and ate everything though, because we've got these cat-sized, fat, garbage-eating, ravenous killer squirrels over here. So so I know that. I said, okay, well, at least if the shit does hit the fan, we got, I don't even have to go after rabbits. The squirrels will come right up to the window. I'll just pick them off from the chair. But
you can have my bunny rabbits that I got.
Yeah.
They come right up to my front porch, and I got a big Labrador.
Oh,
they
wow.
Don't care. We got them Eastern Cottontails here. They're living underneath my shed in the back, right by the garden.
Yeah. We got some big rabbits here. I saw when I was letting the chickens out the other morning, and they're really big. So, and they didn't seem to be scared of me. So, I know we've got rabbits and stuff. And we got bears everywhere. So, they're black bears, and they're good eating. I've eaten black bear burgers. They're good. So.
Sorry for the interruption here, but turd option, we are all classy ladies here, and we won't do that.
Whatever he said, no, we won't. What did he say now? Because I'm not reading any of it.
He was saying, who wants some Mardi Gras beads?
Oh, my God.
I don't think so. This ain't Jerry Springer.
Yeah. I'm surprised we went on this long without anybody saying, so take it off.
Well, Turd Option's been making some comments here and there, but I've been ignoring his ass.
Bad man.
Yeah.
There ain't no time for titties in the apocalypse. Come on now. Ain't no time for gawking at Hooters. We got shit to do, man. We got to get ready.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but, these people today that, they don't think about that our ancestors, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and all that, they prepped essentially because they canned every year.
Yeah.
They put up every year. I remember my mother did it, made jelly and everything all the time.
My grandmother was always doing that.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Nowadays it's, you making fun of you,
Yeah, that's what I don't understand is that, it's, you got so many people pining for the good old days, and then somebody goes around and does stuff like the good old days. It's like, well, what are you, some kind of a freak? It's like, well, no.
I tell my kids, don't come to my house, you get hungry.
Yeah, right?
That's right. There you go.
You don't want to
know my kids would be here.
Yeah, and I mean, my grandmother's still around. She's 80, or she's going to be 90 in the winter. So, she lived through the Depression, and and we all thought she was a nut when we were kids, because I grew up in the 80s, and oh my God, the 80s, it was like the party's never gonna frickin' end, mountains of cocaine and money for everybody, whee! So, here she was, she's washing her tinfoil after she makes the casserole. She's washing the tinfoil, puts it away. We're like, who does that? Grandma, come on, this is America. We're never gonna live like that again. And here we are. sure enough, in my lifetime, where I'm like, gee, oh God, I wish I hadn't have thrown out the tinfoil. I really should have saved it. I could have made a great hat, you know. But you know, I'm starting to, but you know, and a lot of times that's my in with, you know, especially, you know, my women friends, because, you know, I have the misfortune to be friends with a lot of liberal women, and it's an unfortunate side effect of what I do and where I'm from. But, you know, a lot of times that's my in. It's like, hey, you know, prepping is green. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And they're like, oh, tell me more. And I'm like, you know, if you can your own food, you're reusing your glass jars instead of using up all. And they're like, tell me more. And I'm like, I gotcha. You know,
there you go.
You know, it's, you know, a lot of times I don't, because immediately, you know, it's always that shutdown. It's like, no, you're a crazy loon and you like guns and you hate the government and you're a nut. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I am environmentally sound. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, you know, she's onto something here. So, you know, and any way I can get in, you know, I come from this huge family of South Side Chicago Irish Democrats. I am a total freak. I am a total black sheep with these people. They don't get where this is coming from. But a lot of times I'll appeal to that with them. And they're like, you know, I'm not, you know, all the energy that they use to put stuff in cans and to recycle it, I'm not doing that anymore. And they're like, you know. It's my own bread, and I don't, you know, it doesn't have to come with a plastic wrap. I'm saving the dolphin, you know. Appeal the dolphin, you know. I helped the dolphin today. I made my own bread. There was no plastic wrap.
That's tasty.
Saved it, yeah. Mayo and relish.
It tastes like
But,
tuna.
yeah.
I was fortunate. I was raised with people who did not vote. They were not Republican. They were not Democrat. They were not liberal. They just didn't vote. They didn't pay attention to it. They said it's going to be the same shit anytime. It's just going to get worse. And I'm glad, because it's the truth.
The absolute truth. And this is the part that galls me. And especially being from where I'm from, Chicago area, you know, anybody here that lives here that actually voted to put somebody from Chicago in the White House, it's like, what were you thinking? You know how poorly this place is run. Why would you do that?
Right.
This, I think, is the thing that confuses me, is that why are these people not seeing the damage that's coming from supporting these kinds of policies? You know, and I almost hate to say, you know, the liberal agenda, because I don't even like to single people out like that, because I don't think they're dumb people. I think they're just emotionally hung up on things that make them go this way. And I used to be emotionally hung up on things, and I agreed with them, and we don't need guns because it kills kids, and you know, the Second Amendment was about muskets and boo-hoo-hoo, and then I grew up. But anyway,
people are creatures of comfort, and you know, they get themselves in this comfort zone. You know, well, you know, I have everything that I need, and I'm very comfortable, and you know, all of a sudden something happens, maybe somebody loses their job or whatever, and oh well, the government was there to help keep me comfortable, and so they're still comfortable, and the government, those people that wanted them to have those handouts and things, are still keeping them comfortable. And as long as they're comfortable, they're going to keep voting that way, because those are the people giving the handouts. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. Right. And that's exactly what's happening.
Right. But, you know, when you have the people that are directly being harmed, you know, Obamacare was the perfect example. You know, how many people were, oh God, yay, free insurance for everybody, you know, and then all of a sudden it hit, and all of a sudden all my friends are, you know, and this is where, like, my sadistic side takes over, is that I'm on Facebook, and, you know, and all these people, and I'm watching the feeds, and they're going, my monthly premium just went up $300, I just got dropped, my deductible is now $10,000, what happened? And it's like, okay, so now, okay, there you go, boys and girls, now you just saw how you are directly harmed as a result of these policies. And what's their response to that? Hillary 2016! It's like, you know what, okay, again, you know, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. And
for those people who are still interested in voting and things, they need to start out locally, build a strong local government. That's part of the reason why my husband and I are backing this guy in our local city running for Mesa mayor, because he's like us. He believes like we do.
Last night, right? Huh? This was the guy that you guys were playing the video last night. I was listening to that. I'm like, why can't I have that? Oh yeah, because I live in Illinois. That's why. You know, I was loving him. I was like, good Lord, I hope. And that I think is the last hope, if anybody's going to actually consider government as an option that's where it's going to lie. It's going to lie in the local mayor. It's going to lie in the local sheriff, and nothing beyond that. Forget about Congress. Forget about your state senate. Johnny Boehner on TV today. I'm going to sue Obama for violating the Constitution. It's like, you ass clown. File for impeachment. This is what happens when you pack government with lawyers. They say, I'm going to sue you. It's like, what do you want, Johnny? A cash settlement for your emotional damages? I just saw that, and I was just like, you know what? I need to just go soak my head, because I can't take it anymore. It's like just beyond.
Well, and all these people that are calling to impeach Obama. Where in history has any president actually been impeached?
Twice, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work.
And it doesn't do anything. It doesn't fix the problem.
Right. No, it doesn't. The same bills, the same executive actions are still there. I mean, try them for treason and get rid. Just do that so we can eliminate half the problem.
Yep.
That would set a really good example for those who say they represent us, which that is not true. We keep them funded by taxes. But I think that something drastic has to be set as a precedent to them before anything's going to happen. If they want to do something, try them for treason, and and do it on TV. And I would go to somebody's house and pay for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I could do, and put his head on a stick somewhere and let it rot, so the rest of those people walking into that district of criminals could see that every single day. And they shouldn't even get a paycheck. Honest to God, they shouldn't. This should be a voluntary of the citizens of the United States.
Right.
Nothing else.
Jobs, we wouldn't get paid for it. Those guys. None of those guys have done their jobs in forever. I can think of maybe 5 guys up there that are actually earning a paycheck, which I still think is a little much, and even the rest of them. And we're buying everybody a nice new Cadillac and a condo for their mistress. What are we doing?
Well, look at wants to know from Juliana, what does DJ have in that pack he's always carrying around?
Which one?
Which one?
He's got several packs with lots of stuff in it, actually. Which one are you referring to?
I don't know. They didn't specify, but and then Stray Dog Crew made a very good point. The last hope is really the person in the mirror that's staring back at you, because you're the only one who can make a difference. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, a preteen, a child. If you have the drive and you want to change something, you can get out there and make a difference. You can talk to people. You can prepare yourself. You can train yourself. You can educate yourself. Education is the key. The smarter you are, the less likely you're going to be to fail.
Right. Now, I'm not opposed to the small government in the community, because we did try going to the council meetings, and we did have the UN come in with Agenda 21 in the area I live in.
Okay.
And no one, it said that they were having a rally for it, so we went. This was in 2011. And a rally for UN Agenda 21 sounds like everybody's for it. And I read a little thing that says, wear red if you're opposed to it, but I wore a black shirt anyway. But everybody in there had red on, so they were opposed to it. And I got to tell Senator Patty Murray off. That was kind of cool. And people didn't lose their land because the whole community stood up against them. But city council, I tried going to a city council meeting here, and they went into a closed door session because I caught them in a lie. And I brought the paperwork and everything else. And what happened is, to all the elderly people that live in the community who just socialized there, they didn't get to socialize. Even though they wanted me to do this, it went to a closed door. They could have went in there and said whatever they wanted and come out, and it was bullshit. So when me and Kitty walk in there, it's automatically closed door. They go in another room, people just sit around.
That's how you know you're on the right track. If they see you and they run and they slam a door, you're definitely on to something.
If we could have got, more people should have backed us, and instead I saw people cower. So it was actually literally me because I was the speaking one, you know, who was left there kind of on the chopping block. When all these people asked me in the post office, hey, would you go speak for us at the city council? And I did. I looked up all the information they told me. The mayor was lying. They were getting kickbacks. It was extortion all the way. And sure as shit, they went into a closed-door chamber. And if we walk in there now, it's like bad news. Now the cops don't like us. It's like, so in this local area, we're not welcome for telling the truth.
Right,
Well, they tried to make us join up with the town next to us. And they were telling us to change our zip code and all this stuff. And everybody said, hey, if we wanted to live there, we would have moved there and not where we're at. And so they, the commissioners in our county lost that one because we said we wouldn't do it. And we're maybe 800 population.
Oh, wow.
It's all farms out here.
Well, I'm hoping we can get some new city council members, and if we do, I'll start going back up there because I don't have a problem. I like being active. I like going up there and challenging them to the truth. Like CAFRs. Does anybody here know what CAFRs are? Comprehensive Annual Financial Reports. The government actually keeps two sets of books. One they show us, and then there's the CAFRs. And I went to our little mayor's office and asked for the CAFR, and they said, well, you can't have it. And it's like, what do you mean I can't have your CAFR? And they said, well, we put our financial report. I said, I don't want your financial report. I want the comprehensive annual financial report because you see what they're invested in, like Google. Every town in America is invested in Google, so they're invested in spying on you and so forth. So if everybody could get their CAFRs, and if you went in there and just said that word, it would blow their mind. And then they're going to say, oh, shit. They don't, you know, they don't want you to read that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know what that was. I mean,
Yeah, me neither.
There's so much.
The subject, but I want to give a shout out to Mule and Mrs. Mama Mule. Apparently, they're stuck on the side of the road and they're not going to be able to make it tonight. I know that they're watching, so hopefully things will go better for them and they'll get off the side of the road soon.
Bummer.
Oh, man. Well, we're thinking about you guys. Hope you don't stay on the side of the road long.
Yeah. If they don't set the armored tank out to help you.
No.
Right. And Jay Watt says, Juliana, it's the pack that he had in the video where he was fishing at the river and the kids were swimming.
Well, I wasn't there, so I really wouldn't know, and I haven't seen that video yet. So
it was a backpack. He had a backpack on while he was fishing.
Well, I don't even know which backpack it was.
He must have a lot of them.
I was going to say, your man's got more bags than you do. Jeez.
That is true.
I got my little purse. This guy over here had 25 freaking bags. He's always buying away. Check this out. Do you like this one? It's a new one. I'm like, how's it different than the old one? You know, it's got more pockets.
It's a color. It's the colors. It's digital. It's, you know.
Yeah, I have no clue, you know. And he's like, you know, it's like that must be like, you know, men listening to women explain fashion. He's like, well, you know, you have the mark pad, and then you have the break. And you, I don't know, sweetheart. Bag. Okay, bag.
So I don't know which bag he had that day. I dropped him off, came home.
I'm not a consumer, so you know I'm like you. I wouldn't know what bag. Kenny's got all this stuff like that too, and I've still got a purse. The purse I carry is from 1969. My brother gave it to me before he went into Vietnam, and I still carry it to this day. And men on the street ask me if they can buy it because it is a good look. I mean, it's because it's made out of leather. It's sitting over here. But even men like the bag. So I told somebody one day I'd do a video on the purse I carry because when guys like it, you know, it's kind of cool. So.
Yeah, mine got a new backpack today in the mail, and it's got all these pockets. He's like, oh, I want to put stuff in there. I don't want to forget what's in there. He will.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause he's got like about 4 of them sitting around the house. He don't know what's in them.
Yep.
That's Kenny. That sounds like Kenny.
Mine does know everything that's in him. Because if he goes to one of them and doesn't find what he knows he's at in there, we got to go look for it. But he really does know everything that's in every one of his, however many packs he does have, actually. So
I don't know if Kitty does or not. I don't pay attention to the bags. I have my person. I have my own little kit for just me, and it's sitting in the closet for me to grab and go, and that's it.
Me too. I've got a couple of them.
One thing. Just.
No, he's got this giant new backpack. I mean, it's huge. I says, yeah, you better stop and think about your back when you fill that thing up, how heavy it's going to be, because he's had back surgery.
Oh dear.
How old is Joe?
He's getting up there, Altenda.
Yeah, he made us bug
the
up.
big one this year.
Oh, which one?
60.
Oh, see that?
That's not old. Come on, that is not old.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's young. That is so young.
Getting that old, a lot of people don't get to live that long, and it's a shame. You know,
he's lucky he even did. He's had 3 strokes already.
That's what I'm saying, you know, I mean, God, it's, you know, you see this, people are, it just, I don't know if it's just me or if I didn't pay attention when I was a kid, but it just seems like everybody's so damn sick now. You know, I mean, I got friends that are in their 30s and they're dying off of cancer. You know, the little kids. You know, we had a kid, a baby in my family, 2 years old, died of bone cancer. You know, just my God, it's everywhere. It's everything. You know, and I mean, I got more freaking health problems than I know what to do with all of a sudden. You know, it just came out of nowhere. You know, it's
Google's got my page all messed up because I was sick all winter, and they don't have any of my videos up or anything on mine.
Yeah.
Mine's all messed up because I made a video in a while.
I just have a pulled. I was misdiagnosed. I've got a muscle that tore, and they thought it was something else, so it grew wrong. So I'm having to have it massaged out, and then they massage it where it grows back right. But that's nothing really health-wise. It just my back hurts right now, and they put me through torture to do it. So. But my health is good, and so I'm going to say 60 isn't that bad because in like 5.5 years I'll be 60. So I don't think 60 is bad.
Well, damn, Linda, you just told us your age.
Yeah,
I
don't mind.
Make me feel like the grandma on here now. Thanks.
Well, I think that when you get older, your wisdom. Wisdom comes with age, and in my clan, I now would be considered an elder, so I'm kind of proud of that.
I'd rather have backaches and be smart than be sprightly and stupid, because I've been both. So,
I don't know. I got too many health problems. I got fibro and I got lupus, and heart disease.
Oh my.
So it just, and it's all inherited. So that's why I wasn't on, and they screwed up my channel really bad, and that really pissed me off. I worked really hard on all them videos, but my husband's got them all recorded, so he can put them back in there for me.
The doggy barking?
Yeah, my dog is barking. He's out the door.
Tell Tinder to shut up.
Wow! Bad boy, lay down. Lay down. No biscuit. Bad boy. No.
Give him a Scooby treat.
He made these bug out bags for us, and he put like everything in there, and I'm like, darling, we're not going away to like a resort vacation. We can't take every damn thing we own. And it was like he had all this great gear and all this great shit. And here we got this, and we got this, and we got this. So he puts his bag together, and this big frame backpack, and we got the sleeping roll and all this. I'm trying to put this thing on. I can't even pick it up. He's trying to help me pick it up. I'm like leaning against the wall, and I'm like, okay, and I'm gonna have to walk how many miles with this thing on? He was like, yeah, we need all this stuff. And I'm like, no, you don't understand how this works. That's the one you throw in the car. The one that you pick up and you run with needs to weigh like 25 pounds. So we took them all. Now he's getting mad. He's making a face. So we took them all apart one night. We're pulling them out, and like all this stuff and this and that, and a fire kit and a stove. And I'm like, do we need 2 stoves? Like, yes. We're not camping. We're like running away from like the UN troops or zombies or whatever. I'm like, no, you know. I'm like, and so I like pull all this stuff out. I'm like, I don't have any clothes in here. And he's like, you don't? He said, put some clothes. I'm like, they're not even gonna fit. I'm like, dude, it was like, you know, it's like taking a girl on vacation. I need 8 pairs of shoes. I need my swimsuit. I have my summer dress and then my winter dress. I'm like, we can't do. So the other day he's like, yeah, I think maybe I need to repack that thing. I'm like, would you please? It weighs more than I do. I'm not going to have help with this thing. I'm going to break my legs and be
Tell him to start working out if he wants to carry that damn thing.
That's what I said. I said, I'm going to make you carry it for me, you know? You can't make the dog carry it. You know, it's bigger than the damn dog. So we've got one that we've got here, but it's way out of control big, but we have ones in the car. And people laughed at me with the ones in the car, too, because they thought that was really funny. Like, well, where are you going to go? And it's like, hey, you know, people slide off the road in the snow. You know, the way the snow was so bad over here this winter, slide off the road in the snow, and you know you can be sitting there for 8 or 9 hours, and you get thirsty, and you get hungry, and you get cold. I'm like, that's not a dumb thing to do for everybody who lives outside of frickin' San Diego. You know, I mean, it's I was driving 3 hours before, back and forth. It's a long story, but I worked up here. We were still living downstate, and I would drive up, stay all week, and drive back. I was driving up one night. I ran out of gas. I sat on the side of the road, so I busted everything out, and I, you know, peed on the side of the road, and I had toilet paper, and I put a sweater on, and I was like, ha, everybody, isn't that great? I had a energy snack bar thing in there. It was great. I was like, see, it works. I got to actually try it out once. So, you know, and then people think that's such a loony thing to do, and it's really not. You know, you could be a flat tire, and you're sitting there for 4 hours because AAA can't find you, or you're in a, you know, or it's a flood.
Change the tire yourself. Come on, ladies.
Change your tire. I do.
I do know how to change a tire. I will say that. I changed it. I helped 2 guys push their car off the road the other day because they didn't know what to do, and they're like, with all the steam coming out, they didn't know what to do, and I'm sitting behind them. I'm like in this big stupid classic car that I'm driving. I'm like, hang on a second. I blocked all the traffic up. I'm helping them push the car. They're like, thanks, lady, and I'm like, I've never felt like I had bigger cajones than right now. I like help.
There you go. They're called chesticles. Chesticles. That's what we got.
Yeah. Well, you know, and then they didn't know what to do. And I'm like, well, you gotta put some like antifreeze in that thing. And they're like, oh, I'm like, I live right there. I'll go get you some. And they're like, no, that's okay. And I'm like, all right, well, if I've humiliated you, I'm sorry. I'll leave now. You're welcome. Between the 2 of them, they're just, you know, and that's the kind of stuff I see. I'm like, my God, we're fucked. You know, even the guys don't have the sense of brains to push their car out of the middle of traffic when their car breaks down. They couldn't, you know, and these were big guys too. And I'm like, they couldn't even get the thing over. I had to like help them do it, you know. And I'm, you know, 130 pounds. I'm like, God, geez, really? You know, please tell me more about, you know, how you're gonna, you know, save the world and make all my decisions for me, because I'm too stupid. You know, all right, whatever.
Oh yeah, we're women. They think we're helpless.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Hey, ladies, so we had initially planned to run this for 2 hours, leave everybody wanting more. I don't know how you guys feel about it, if you want to stay on or not. I know I'm probably going to want to check out here pretty soon. So just the panel, what do you guys want to do?
I say always leave them wanting more. I'm a big fan of that. Leave them with thunderous applause, holding up cigarette lighters and saying how great we were, and you know,
oh yeah,
this is the best chat ever. You know, yay!
Yay!
Bird, free bird.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we should do it again too.
I think we should definitely.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
Get Mrs. Mule in here next time, because I've been to Mule's house and I've never seen Mrs. Mule. I don't even know what she looks like. She's like this phantom.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's a wonderful lady.
Oh, wonderful! I would love to chat with her, because now that we spent down at time at Casa de Mule, I would like to meet his better half. So hopefully, if you're still out there, Mrs. Mule, hi. I want to.
She is his better half, and she's his more attractive half.
Oh.
Well, Mrs. Mule, if you're listening, we all want to meet you, so we have to do this again.
Totally. I'm into it.
Well, maybe we can do it once a month. I know that they're saying we should do it every Wednesday night, but I don't know if I'm up for that. But maybe once a month we'll have our game plan going like we did tonight. We'll have a new topic to talk about.
Dig it.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so do you want to end it like the guys do and give anybody a shout out? You know, I know all you ladies are probably subscribed to some other people that your husbands are not.
Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not. So I'm just gonna give a shout out to everybody. Hey everybody. That's all I got. Hey everybody.
Tactical Tony. There you
Oh,
go.
Tactical Tony. That's the only one I can think about.
The man of your dreams.
That's horrible. I'm so sorry you dreamt about him.
I know.
Wait. I don't know. Ashen.
Oh, give a shout out to Ashens, who's non-prepper related, but it's pretty funny. That's all I got. I got nothing.
Alrighty, Linda.
I think everybody who watched, and Kitty and I have the same account, so if you know us, and I saw you said Calmer Sue was out there and stuff, and thank you, Calmer Sue, for listening, you and your family. And everybody else who watched, thank you, and hope everybody returns for our next one.
Well, I want to thank you guys for having me. I really liked it, and I did learn some stuff from you guys, too. So I hope to be back next time. And I shout out to everybody, and it was a good night.
You're definitely welcome back next time, too. Juliana?
Thank you.
Guess I'll talk more next time. Shout out to everybody, because I'm really not on here a lot. It's summertime. I'm disconnected from this, and I got 3 youngsters running around the house, and I really don't take a lot of time on the computer right now. So, but I'd like to come back next month or in the next month. And thanks for everybody that's watching. And I won't tell what's in Dean's facts. Sorry, kid. Okay.
All right, and thank you everybody for coming tonight. I want to give a big shout out to all the male bartenders that have stayed their butts off of this chat for the most part, and so I hope that you guys all enjoyed it, and we will definitely let you know when the next ladies' night's going to be. We'll let you know what the topic is. If you're not subscribed to any of these ladies, please go do so. All right, we've got Katie, what is your channel name?
Kitty and Linda.
Not you, Linda. I said Katie.
I don't have one. I'm a dirty interloper.
You need to get one. Dang it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. We do fire starter drills around here once a month in the fireplace, and I buy fire starter things and try them out. And he was like, "Why don't you make videos?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I probably.
We want to see more of you. You need your own channel.
Thank you. I did one gun review, and apparently it was a big hit, so I guess I should do more. So.
Yeah, and everybody likes it when you impersonate your husband. It's hilarious.
Oh my God, I don't know. Why everybody wants to make fun of me all the time?
Good. That's good.
I come all the way from America, and you said you make fun of me. She's all right. Love. It's so adorable.
We've got E. Kenny and Linda. We've got Mrs. NWI Prepper. Juliana, do you have a channel?
I do. It's under Juliana Moore, but I don't have any videos up. I think the only video I have is my dog telling me that he loves me. But, I've considered doing videos and everything. I just haven't had the time or just don't know what to do yet. So maybe some more.
You'll get inspired and make some, huh?
Yeah. Well, I've got thoughts. I got kids. So
maybe
all together we'll do it.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, have a good night. And don't forget to subscribe to Riddle Girl. I did make a tampon candle. Yeah.
I got to see this tampon candle. I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a whole cluster of them and put them in the room, and Eltenda's gonna come in and be like, "It's time for romance," and be like, "Oh my God!" things I do like.
I used the warm apple cider hand sanitizer. It actually smelled pretty good while it was burning.
Don't say. Good to know. Wow.
It is good to know.
Wonderman.
Things you learn.
All righty, well,